This is episode 2 of True Sports. I'm Taylor Phillips along with Louis Tenore. Good evening.
Maybe.
All right, the Tampa Bay Lightning dominate Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals 6-2 over the Colorado Avalanche, who now lead the series 2-1. Um, Tampa Bay came out angry after losing 7-0 in Game 2. I, I told I told everyone never underestimate the defending champion, back-to-back champion Lightning.
Right.
The Lightning don't go down without a fight. They don't. They are really resilient, no matter who they play. Um, and they showed it tonight. They win 6-2. The Avalanche dominated Game 2. The Lightning dominate Game 3. Game 4 should be interesting, and we'll preview more of that a little bit tomorrow. But tonight, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa, like I said, Tampa Bay has to find a way to stop, the onslaught of Avalanche's offense, which they did tonight. They came out hungry because if they knew they were going to win this series, they knew their backs would be against the wall. And it's very difficult to come back from a 3-0 deficit. So Tampa need this game badly, and that's what they got. And to put, hate to sound a bit crude, but they gave them a case of good old fashioned whoop ass, just like Colorado did in Game 2. So, it was like, it had to be tonight. Otherwise, I wouldn't see him coming back in Game 4. You could have just stuck a fork in and be done. But now we got a Game 5, and in Game 4, this is where it gets interesting because you're either one win away from winning the Stanley Cup, or you go 2-2, and it's the best of 3. So now is where it really picks up the intensity here. And I was a bit surprised though that after having a 7-0 game in Game 2, that the scoring would be still rather high in this game. I thought maybe that the offense would have worn off a bit because I've seen it happen before. Case in point, back to Colorado in 1996 when they played the other Florida team, the Panthers. In Game 2, it was 8-2 Colorado. Then the next game was, I believe, only like 3-2 Colorado, and then the Game 4, which was the end game, which took forever to get done. Thank you very much. Was 1-0 in multiple overtimes, and I lost a lot of sleep that night. So I was thinking that the score was going to be down a little bit, and when I thought maybe that the offense would, be a little bit exhausted. Obviously, that was not the case. Of course, we've seen, scoring has been up this year for the most part, and it's so that's the only thing I'm surprised at. Game 4, Tampa's got to just do what they did in game 3 here, and they'll be set. So so the series is not over yet. Okay, they're not getting a sweep. Okay, I'll eat my hat tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some fans were thinking of sweep, but I kept trying to tell them otherwise, and I was right.
You were. You were.
Again, can't underestimate the Lightning.
Yeah, that's why they're the defending champions twice. I gotta give them credit though. I mean, because even when they look like they're dead in the water, they were down 0-2 against the Rangers. And I thought maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get there. But the Lightning found their way back in that series as well. So I was thinking it could happen again. I mean, they're running on empty. Colorado was looking strong, so I thought it would be the favor of the Avalanche. The Avalanche having the advantage. So far, they still do, but maybe this might have been a turning point in the series. But we'll have to wait and see what it's for.
So far, it's been the home ice advantage, of course. Home teams feed off of their fans and feed the energy off of it, and just use it, and they capitalize. They exploit it perfectly. Yeah, that's always a positive for the home team.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens in Game 4. So, of course, it's now time for the National Sports Report. Louis, go right ahead.
All right. Well, for those of you who just are tuning in, as we mentioned, Tampa comes storming back to now make this more interesting series now 6-2 over the heavily favored Colorado Avalanche. And now we set up for a game 4. We're at least gonna go to game 5 on Wednesday night. So stick around, people. This might get very interesting later on down in these next few games. Just basically from experience that sometimes when you have a game like you did on Saturday, that the offense would phase out a bit. But this time was Tampa that was the scoring machine here, and Colorado just looked weak. They did look strong early in the beginning of the game, and I was thinking, well, here we go again. But obviously not the case. All right, the baseball scores are in, and we're ready to go. In the top of the 6th, the Royals and the Angels are tied 2 apiece. 2 out, nobody on. Syndergaard, the former Met, is pitching, and Menendez is at bat. The Mets are doing fine without him, though. Ooh, boy. At the end of the 5th, the Padres leading the Diamondbacks 4-1. Walker, Darvish is pitching, and Walker has now come to bat. Mets are still on a roll again as they beat the Fish. You call them the Marlins, 6-0. Peterson got the win, and Rogers got the loss. Once again, not a beautiful day in his neighborhood. Oh boy. Pirates an easy time over the Cubs, 12-1. Brubaker got the win, and Killon got the loss. The Red Sox over the Tigers 5-2. Winowski got the win. Fredo got the loss. Hutch got the save. You always know I don't like a team, people. Rays, Yankees over the Rays 4-2. Ochoa got the win.
50 wins.
Am got the loss. Yep. It could have been 50 yesterday, but they choked. Don't ask me why.
That happens.
Yeah, but 9-3. Anywho, Braves over the Giants 2-1. Jansen got the win, and Duvall got the loss. Brewers over the Cardinals 2-0. I think the game just ended. Burns got the win. Molokas got the loss, and Hatter got the save. And finally, this is a good one here. White Sox edged the Blue Jays 8-7. Lynn got the win. Barrios got the loss, and Kelly got the save. Ooh, boy. 8-7. But, that was pretty much a shocker yesterday. It's not very common for the Yankees to blow a big lead like that, even though they weren't at home. But still, you were up 8-3, and I stepped outside for Father's Day celebrations. I thought maybe the game was in hand and whatnot, and behold, I come back in and find out 10-9 and they lost. I'm like, this can't be happening. Just unreal. Now, if it was at home, that'd probably be another story. I think maybe we would have, kept the lead. All right, so we'll go to the schedule for tomorrow. And we'll go this way. Yep. And look at this. The Yankees had something amazing seasons in their illustrious history, but 2022 is a class by itself. Because I don't think we've seen a team reach this to 15 wins this quickly, except maybe the 98 team, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so here we go. Your schedule tomorrow goes this way. The Rockies will take on the Marlins at 6:40. The Dodgers will take on the Reds also at 6:40, 7:05. The Cubs will take on the Pirates. 7:05 games also include the Nationals versus the Orioles. The Tigers at the Red Sox at 7:10 actually. 7:10 will also be the Yankees and the Rays. 7:20, the Giants versus the Braves. 7:40, the Guardians versus the Twins. 8:05, the Phillies take on the Rangers. 8:10 games, the Mets take on the Astros. The Cardinals take on the Brewers. The Blue Jays take on the White Sox. 9:38. The Royals take on the Angels. 9:40. The D-backs take on the Padres, and the Mariners take on the A's. So, time to update the standings here. I wonder why they started 9:38. That's kind of like a weird time to start a game. Whatever happened to 5 after?
I've heard of 7:07 starts in Toronto.
That's true too. Give me the good old days when everybody started, 5 after the hour and whatnot.
Usually it's 10 nowadays. 10
Yeah.
after.
I guess longer pregame, longer commercial time. Yeah, well, it's got to be something. But then again, I'm just old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, I'm a lot older than most people think I am. Okay, so here we go. The Yankees, with the win tonight, 50-17, now have a 12-game lead over the Blue Jays at 38-29. The Red Sox, 37-31, are 13.5 back. The Rays, 36-31, 14 back, still respectable. And the Orioles, dead last as usual, 30-38, 20.5 back. Well. Over to the Central, the Twins are 38-30, have a 1-game lead over the Guardians at 34-28. The White Sox, 32-33, 4.5 back. Not out of it by any means, though. Yeah, the Tigers are 26-41, 11.5 back, and the Royals 23-42, 13.5 back. To the West, Astros 41-25 have a 9.5 game lead over the Angels, 33-36. The Rangers 31-35, 10 back. The Mariners 29-39, 13 back, and the A's 23-45, 19 back. Sorry to say. To the National League, the Mets are 45-24, have a 5.5 game lead over the Braves at 39-29. Not far back from that are the Phillies at 36-32, 8.5 back. The Marlins 29-36, 14 back, and the Nationals 24-46, 21.5 back. To the Central, Brewers 39-30. They have a 1-game lead over the Cardinals, 38-31. Pirates 27-39, 10.5 back. The Cubs 25-42, 13 back, and the Reds 23-40, 14 back. It's almost July, and they only have 23 wins so far. Oh boy! Now the division to watch carefully. It's easy. In the West, the Dodgers 40-25. The Padres are a half game back at 41-27. 3.5 back are the Giants, 37-29. The D-backs are 32-36, 9.5 back, which is still respectable. And the Rockies 30-37, 11 back. I mean, I say it's respectable because, for one thing, they are doing better than they did last year, and there's plenty of time they can make up ground here. So I wouldn't necessarily say that their season is over by a long shot, people. You got to give them credit. They have. I mean, I think they've surprised a lot of people this year so far. Other games, the College World Series is still going on, and both games are final. Mississippi over Arkansas, 13-5. Auburn over Stanford. I should say an upset over Stanford, 6-2. Remember, Stanford was second ranked. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with the headlines today. It's been 2 years since the Bay Area hosted a championship parade, but neither the city or the Warriors forgot how to celebrate the moment. No kidding. Stephen Curry hopped on a banister at a train stop and hit a sign that was right next to him. MVP chants echoed from every direction as blue and gold confetti rained down from the sky. Curry's wife, Aisha, pointed a sign and before popping a bottle of champagne, spraying it down on her husband. That inspired her husband and Damian Lee to pop their own bottle and shower the fans in their path. We all represent you. This life you give us. This is what matters. That's what it's all about. Curry told a small crowd at a pep rally before the parade this morning. Entertaining, entertaining all of you gives us something to cheer about and it has a sense of passion. That's what it's all about, people. It gives us a platform to go do things we have not been able to do before and represent the entire Bay Area in the process. We're back having a parade in San Francisco. Let's go celebrate. And sure enough, they did. Yeah. Because think about it, 2 years ago, they had the worst record in the whole league. Look at it now. Well, while the regular NBA season is over, it's almost time for, you guessed it, NBA Summer School. That's my own little joke here. The league announced today that the 75-game schedule, with the first game being the Magic and the Rockets, all games will be in Vegas starting July 7th, to be followed by sort of like their version of Midnight Madness when the Pistons take on the Blazers. How about that? Most teams will begin either play on either July 8th or July 9th. All 30 teams will be playing a 5-game schedule. The first 4 games will be played through July 15th. The league then will seed all 30 teams for 1 game each on that final day. The 2 highest seeds will play in the championship game on July 17th, while the others will play their final game on the 16th. In addition, smaller tournaments will be involved, as the Warriors will host a 4-team event on July 2nd and 3rd, and the Jazz will host an event from the 5th through the 7th. Yeah, summer school. That's reserved for rookie and some first-year players.
Well, technically, it's called Summer League, but good one.
Yeah. Okay, a very tragic story that happened in Harlem early this morning or late last night, whatever you prefer. A college basketball player from Houston Baptist was killed with 8 others at a Harlem gathering early this morning. Police officers responded around 12:40 a.m. to reports of a shooting on a footpath along FDR Drive. There were several others wounded. Other victims went to the hospital on their own, according to officials. The boy's name was Darius Lee, who was a senior at Houston Baptist. University of Texas, was killed at the university saying he was just 21 years old. He grew up in Harlem. He attended St. Raymond High School in the Bronx and was home for a summer break. The investigation is ongoing. Throughout today. Police said there was little or no detail of the gathering. The suspects led to the shooting. A gun was recovered from the scene, police said. Lee, who was a guard and forward, played at a community college in Sullivan County, New York, before enrolling at Southern Baptist University. He was to graduate in December with a bachelor's degree in sports management. What a shame. All right. The Orlando the Magic, are still evaluating their top overall pick for the draft that comes on Thursday. The Magic have yet to decide on what to do when the NBA draft takes place this week. Other teams have engaged on what the asking price would be if they wanted to trade for that selection. And the Magic have evaluate all top candidates. But president of the Magic, Jeff Wellman, sees no urgency to decide on anything till it is absolutely needed, given that they have hold on the top draft pick. Dialogue is always ongoing, says Wellman. But most important, we got to do what we want. That's the real benefit of having the number 1 draft pick. Yeah, but it doesn't always mean it's going to produce a winner, people. Sheesh. The Dallas Stars are closing on a contract with Peter DeBoer to be the next head coach of the Stars. ESPN confirming.
I think they just hired him.
Okay, I didn't get updated yet. This was done earlier today, so it might have just been breaking news. The news was first reported by TSN. DeBoer was fired as the head coach of the Knights at the end of the regular season and will inherit a young team that went to the playoffs as a wild card entry but lost in the first round to the Flames in 7 games. This is the 5th team that DeBoer will coach for. He led 2 teams to the finals, the Devils in 2012. They lost to the Kings that year, and the Sharks in 2016. I believe Pittsburgh won that year. And has made 7 playoff appearances and 513 regular season wins as a head coach. The Knights failed to make the postseason for the first time in their short history, despite the presence of Buffalo Sabres Jack Eichel coming in November. Well, yeah, Eichel, okay, I mean, he is a good player, but he has no luck with it with teams at all. I mean, look what Buffalo did last year. Yeah.
Probably the roster, which is
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, I mean, Eichel is good. I mean, I know people who like him, but he has had no luck at all. At the end of the season's news conference, DeBoer said he wanted to be back coaching the team again. The Knights finished with a respectable record, though, 43, 31, and 8 this season, but it was not enough. As we mentioned here, Lightning center Braden Point was to be a game-time decision today. That's set by head coach John Cooper. Well, whatever happened, it worked. He did not take part in the morning skate. He returned for Game 1 in the finals against the Avalanche after missing the 2 previous rounds with a lower body injury in Game 7 of their first-round series against the Leafs. Point skated 16 minutes and 40 seconds with 1 shot on goal in Game 2. He did not register a shot on goal despite 18 minutes of ice time, but did register with assists. That was, I think, in a different game. Point has 5 assists in 9 playoff games so far. So he's actually holding up rather nicely. Okay, let's get that. Now on to the other news of the day. Yeah. So Point, whether he was there or not, well, the Lightning made an impact anyway. Go figure. And if they win on Wednesday night, then you could say we have a series. Because at that point, it'll be even.
definitely.
Yes. I mean, you can't really say it's a series just yet because you still have to win one more game to get there. All right. Best point guard by category. Ooh, that might be good for Saturday's show. Well, we'll see. And incidentally, the NHL awards are going to be out this week too. Personally, I think you should wait until the season's over. Okay. First up, Guardians third baseman Jose Ramirez was not in the lineup for the second straight game due to right thumb soreness. Ramirez was scheduled to go an MRI today. These were the first and second games he's missed all season. Ernie Clement got a start at third base for the second straight game and was 2 for 4 with a double with an RBI in yesterday's victory over the Dodgers. Manager Terry Francona said Saturday that Ramirez jammed his thumb in the game 10 days ago, and it happened again in the series against the Rockies. Okay. Ramirez had an 8-game hitting streak and leads the American League with 62 RBIs. Not bad. All right. Mookie Betts is hoping to stay on the injured list for only a short time, as I mentioned yesterday. The Dodgers outfielder is sidelined after suffering a cracked rib. This is the third time he's been on the injured list in the last 2 seasons. It's sore, but he says it is what it is. Betts said before they faced the Guardians yesterday. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, I don't think it's going to be a lung injury, though. So anyway, I thought it was only a bruise at first. I could play through it. Obviously, it was not the case. Instead, it got worse over the next few days. Now we are just sitting here. Both Betts and manager Dave Roberts were optimistic that the former MVP would only miss about 2 weeks. Betts was injured in the first inning of Wednesday's game against the Angels after colliding with Cody Bellinger in the outfield on a fly ball. Happens all the time. Betts played the rest of the game but was scratched from the lineup for both Friday and Saturday. Betts said that I don't think he's re-aggravated the injury I don't think he re-aggravated the injury when he made a leaping dive on a drive by Show Me the Money Otani, or Shoni Otani if you prefer. In the ninth, we say Show Me the Money. It's his nickname. In the ninth, and tried to preserve Tyler Anderson's no-hitter. Betts was not able to recover in time and resulted in a double. This season, he is tied for third with 53 runs scored and tied for fourth with 17 home runs. And the Dodgers are 29-7 when Betts scores at least one run. He missed 22 games last season with right hip inflammation. He was out of baseball activities for a week as he was making his way back. Houston Astros slugger Jordan Alvarez was not in last night's lineup for their finale against the White Sox due to a hand injury and is listed as day-to-day, according to Dusty Baker. Baker said hopefully it'll be no more than a few days following last night's win. Baker told reporters that the prognosis was better than we had hoped for, and there was no structure damage. Baker initially would not reveal the location of the injury before revealing that it was his hand. He also did not want to reveal the location because the opposition would pitch him differently and would hurt both us and him as well. Alvarez, who has appeared in 32 games this season as a DH and 27 games in left field this season for the Astros, was injured on his final swing in the seventh inning as they lost to the White Sox back on Saturday. And finally, Jair Encarnacion. That name sounds familiar. Encarnacion was called up of the majors, and his Marlins teammate Sandy Alcantara made a promise to the rookie. He said, "If you get a hit or a home run, I will buy you something." The pitcher revealed, saying that on the way back to the team hotel on Friday night. Inserted into the depleted lineup, Encarnacion made a spectacular Major League debut with a go-ahead grand salami in the seventh for his first Major League hit. Now, what a way to get your first hit, guys. Wow. He also threw out a runner at third base from right field and stole a base as the Marlins beat the Mets yesterday. Both players met in the Dominican Republic in 2014. Jair signed with the Marlins in 2016. If I'm not mistaken here. He signed with the Marlins the following year. It started in the minors, and there was their number 16 prospect heading into the 2020 season after hitting a grand slam off Sterling Sharp in the championship game of the Arizona Fall League. Sterling Sharp, another former Major League player. What a bust.
But talk about making an impact on Father's Day.
Right. First at bat, he got a grand slam. He began this year at Pensacola, Florida, or as I call it, Pepsi-Cola, Florida. Homered his debut for Jacksonville on May 17th and brought to the big leagues on Friday after hitting 13 home runs in the minors this season. Not for nothing. That's pretty good. 13 home runs in the minors. You gotta admit, some of these minor league players, they can really surprise you. I mean, sometimes they can stay in the minors and never get out of it because they're not as good as they think they are. But every now and then, you get these players, that are solid in the minors, and they come up to the majors, and well, sometimes they can be an impact and be great. Other times you can be a bust. So we'll just see. But that, I mean, Sterling Sharp though, what a bust he turned out to be. Yeah, look where he is now in the minors.
What a shame.
Yeah, all the hype surrounding him, and what did he do? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Or to put it this way, Sharp wasn't being so sharp. Oh dear. All right, I believe I do have one more article to mention here before we wrap up for the night. I'll get right to it. Okay. I know we don't cover a lot of events that are like individuals, but I thought this might be a bit interesting here. American swimmer Katie Ledecky won her fourth 1,500-meter freestyle race in Budapest, of all places, today. Ledecky never felt threatened as she clocked in at 15 minutes and 30 seconds, only 10 seconds off her world record in 2008 to finish 14.74 ahead of Katie Grimes. Ledecky punched the water in celebration before waiting to embrace her teammate. Grimes, at 16, is the second youngest medalist in the 1,500 at a World's competition since Ledecky went for the first time back in 2013. And this was her 17th world title. And still young compared to most of us. All right, Taylor, that's my bit. I'll turn it back to you.
All right, this has been episode 2 of True Sports. We'll be back probably tomorrow at some point late,
All right.
a little bit late in the evening, but not too late. Until then, for Lewis, I'm Taylor. Ta-ta.
Ciao.